Okay, based on a viewer's request, I shall be reviewing Poppy's album Flux. It took me forever to get to this album. I mean, I disagree, but that's going on like over a year at this point. I don't know why it took me forever. But today is the day that I actually get to it. What's actually pretty crazy is that this album is going on 2 years now. You believe that? September 2021 was when this album came out. That's crazy. And I hear that there's supposed to be a new album on the way, penciled in later this year. I believe that's what I read. And if not, next year. And I'm very interested in greatly looking forward to that as well. But in regards to Poppy's album Flux, it is far less aggressive than I Disagree, but that does not downplay the significance or the enjoyment that I get out of this album. However, I can understand why some people were disappointed, as if it wasn't as aggressive, which it isn't, less aggressive than its predecessor. However, for this album, it's just like I Disagree when it comes to the plethora of genres that it incorporates, whether that be rock or punk or alternative or grunge or new wave, shoegaze, you name it. It's on this album. And, throughout this whole time, from 2021 to just before I was going to, write all my notes down these various tracks, I always thought that this was a pretty good album, right? However, when I was actually, sitting down and just, analyzing the lyrics, just like really taking in one track at a time, I really found new admiration for this album. I think that this is a great album because, again, for a lot of people, me included, you're listening to albums usually when you're doing stuff, whether that be work, whether that be driving, like these activities. You're never really sitting down a whole lot to be able to listen to it all. And being able to do that, I really found some new admiration for this album. And again, what's even more insane is that this is only her fourth studio album, but really only her second album, in which case she's able to have control over the music and the direction and whatnot. And throughout her various, EPs that she's come out with and her singles, she is a chameleon when it comes to, incorporating music genres and music direction, delivery, songs, you name it. You want to talk about like a David Bowie, persona, or being able to have that magic in there, not be genre defined, but being a genre. Poppy's it, man. I am very, very, very much enjoying her work thus far, and I am very interested in seeing what comes out in the future. And at the end of the day, I think that this is a great album. So let's get on with the review. Alright, to open up the album, you have the song Flux. Right off the intro, you got that piercing metallic grinding sound going on, and the rapid firing of the drumsticks, not to mention the instruments just kicking in. So right in, you're off to a great start. And for the song, she's talking about going through life. And that's something I forgot to mention in the intro. This album is very personal when it comes to her talking about her life, whether that be the stuff that she went through, what she's currently experiencing and feeling, and what the future holds, i.e. moving forward. And while the path may be unclear, at least she has escaped her hellhole. It's a very personal album, and just right off the bat, you already get that, because she's talking about being used as a possession that gets cut up and fed to people for their enjoyment. And I really like the part where she describes people being confused or amused about her. I take that as the whole she's part of the Illuminati era. Again, I got into her very late, I suppose. I've found out about her on this, YouTube iceberg. But by then, she already came out with I Disagree. So me watching the whole I'm Poppy video, I'm like, oh, that's kind of some cool artsy thing, whatever. But, I Disagree fucking kicked ass, and I became a fan. And then, to move from that, you then learn about her history. I'm like, holy shit, that this is terrible stuff going on. So, I like that, to where she's talking about, here I was, being used as this, like, this possession, this puppet, to where people just, are amused or confused. But then she also follows it up by saying, we all got short attention spans, and that era is kind of gone, or at least that whole mindset, it's, not really there anymore, because, now we know the information, and now we know she's, broken out of that, and she's become, her own unique artist, and is able to make these killer albums and various singles and stuff. But with all of that, she's saying, you gotta flux and flow through life, and, the changes that come with it, right? But what's also great about this song is that we get to hear her soft voice, then her regular tone for the chorus, and then of course the metal side near the end of the song. It's just killer stuff at the end right there. Alright, the next track is Lessen the Damage. Man, I love this song. It's just killer guitars, banging drums, it's punk, it's alternative, it's early 2000s, what's not to like about it, right? But, she's just like pissing fire on the song, right? She's talking about, again, this chain reaction going off, and that when she finds her target, she points and she shoots. There's no point in running or hiding, because you're already dead, right? Man, the chorus itself is also killer. She's talking about, seeing red, feeling the serotonin overflow her, and that there's nothing that can be done to help lessen the damage, right? And of course, towards the middle and latter half of the song, then the screaming starts to happen, whether that be the title track itself, or like the demanding beat that goes on. And she incorporates the screaming a bit after that, but like that demanding beat that goes on in the bridge, telling them to leave her, don't touch her, let me be the one to destroy her, right? Like, this is the creation that I live with, I personify, I do whatever. If anything's going to happen, it's going to be on my end. It's just a killer song. Alright, the next song, So Mean. Definitely a personal song, where she's talking about her past experiences of being in an abusive relationship, being gaslit, leaving, and now being judged, right? But for this song, is delivered in two parts. One is the chorus, where it's this fun, catchy pop delivery, and that's about people that are asking the questions about her, such as, you're so different now, why are you so mean, what's changed, that type of thing. And then the other side is in this, like, grunge delivery, where she's talking about, the hell she endured with that piece of shit fucker, and all the abuse she endured, but she's finally able to escape it all, and, now she's dealing with all these reactions from it, from, like, these people that are, questioning her and whatnot. But in this song, what I do like, it's a funny moment. It's at the end, to where she's going through the chorus, how did she get here, why is she so mean, you hear her computer era voice come in, like, how did I get here? And then probably just, like, screams, like, fuck off, like that type of thing. I really do enjoy that part to it. But for this song, obviously the lyrics, the presentation, the meaning, that they're very strong and they're very deep. The song itself, it's a great song. I really do enjoy it, especially the two-parter of, having it in a pop delivery for the chorus, but then throughout it all, where she's detailing what transpired, it's delivered in this grunge tone. I dig it. Alright, the next song is On the Level. This is a nice sounding song, she's talking about finding love, but, in the intro she talks about being in like a car, so it's like a driving analogy, to where she's driving through all the various lights, and she's missing the obvious signs, but eventually she's able to notice one of the signs, and she's able to put her heart out there and find somebody that's on her level, and then now she has a feeling of being in love, and that that feeling will go on even after life itself. It's she speaks in a soft, low tone throughout, but the instruments themselves are a bit more on the heavier side, so it's a nice combination of the two right there. But it's very, very cool at the latter half of the song, when like those jet engine sounds just like blare off, and you can just hear screaming, only for it to end back into this calm, peaceful, tranquility delivery that we had before the whole insane eruption type of thing. It's just like a neat juxtaposition, and you can sort of interpret that as like the feelings of, like love and stuff, and you're just kind of like exploding with happiness and whatnot. But yeah, it's a very, very cool moment. I like the juxtaposition where it's like calm and then explodes and then it's back to calm itself. It's a nice song. Alright, the next song is Hysteria. And by the way, I'm sorry about this glare right here. That the sun's been dicking with me throughout this video. I apologize. But anyways, this song, Hysteria itself, perhaps one of my favorites on this album, but it carries a shoegaze sound to it. Something that I didn't even know existed, that term. But it was actually pretty cool because once you learn about it, then you see the various songs and artists that incorporate that, you go, wow, that sound has a name to it. I still, and I will call it, because there are a couple of songs also, has like this dreamlike sound to it, and this is definitely the case. Again, shoegaze, dreamlike, dream atmosphere, you name it. It carries that tone in the song, and then a couple more songs towards the end of this album. But for Hysteria itself, she's full of emotions, right? The emotions are full, and it's hard to control. And as soon as those emotions start to elevate, it's like a tidal wave as you become overcome by these sensations. She's telling the person in the song, she's like, I didn't mean to scare you, I didn't mean to harm you. It's just my hysteria. And again, much like this album, this song, there's heavy-hitting lyrics in here. She's talking about, having to bite her cheeks because she doesn't want to talk, or it's hard enough just to live with her thoughts. And then obviously, just talking about the emotions themselves and having to put a cap on it that otherwise the bottle itself wants to burst. What's interesting is that in the comments, towards the end of the song, because the sound gets very loud, but you can hear shouting, and what she's yelling out is help me get out. So these emotions become personified as if they are literally yelling, I want to break out, I want to cause this tidal wave. It's a great song. Alright, for the next one is Her. Definitely 1990s alternative rock stuff going on here. I love the music video, the stop motion figures, and like the whole backgrounds and the set designs, and of course the story itself going on through here. It's a no-brainer if you know the history, and then you're watching the video itself. But it's like this computer animatronic character of Poppy and various other, it's just like a Ford plant, this whole assembly line of making all these various look-alike dolls, and they're all playing instruments for this like one creator, and then once they fulfill their purpose or perhaps gets bored of them or whatever, they're disbanded or destroyed, and then you just continue on with the assembly line. It's very creepy. Obviously, she lived through that. Other people connected to him also experienced it, and then you can also tie this to the music industry itself. But for this song, she's talking about after being controlled and manipulated, she's able to break free and learns to live with Poppy and put her back together. But at the end of the day, it's a rocking song. There's lots of heaviness into it, and the anguish you can hear at the end. Again, it's just a great rocking song. Alright, the next one is Bloom. Beautiful sounding song, encompassing soft singing. This song and the next song, again, carry that dreamlike atmosphere, the shoegaze, what a peculiar name. I wonder how the person came up with that. But anyways, just reading the lyrics of the song, it's like poetry. Again, music, it's subjective. You can interpret as you will. But for me, listening to this song, I view it as a new life, or a new beginning. As she's talking about, towards the beginning of the song, everybody being equal, we're all cut from the same center. And then she goes through about her navigating life and the uncertainties of it, then wondering when her time will come and how people will remember her. But, all the while throughout the course, she's talking about blooming, bloom like a flower, and she's giving it to other people to do the same, and then, gives it back to her. So you're just sharing this hope of, perhaps love and equality. But for me, I kind of view it as this, this second life, this new beginning, and hopefully with that, that beauty of it, it can shine and spread throughout various other people. But again, it's that dreamlike atmosphere where you're going to get it again later on. in this album, but this is just a beautiful sounding song. Alright, speaking of which, the next song, As Strange As It Seems. Man, I implore you, put on some headphones, listen to this by yourself. The only things that are going to be left in the entire world when you do that is you and the song. It's very magical sounding, this song. It's touching, it's dreamy, it's soft. You're like flying through the clouds. And in this song, she's back to the car analogy, to where initially she was a passenger in the speeding car and the driver just gave zero fucks about her, right? And the chorus itself is her asking, what did I get myself into? Why did I let you into my life? But eventually she's able to move into the driver's seat. She's able to control the steering wheel, able to control the car, i.e. her life. And the driver, who's now the passenger, is bewildered and was never expecting this, this girl with the soft voice that just said Poppy for 20 minutes straight, was able to take back her life and escape this person. It's just a magical sounding song, and it's absolutely beautiful. Alright, to end the album, we have the song Never Find My Place. This is a great song to end the album. It incorporates various bits of genres that we heard throughout. It goes from soft, goes to rock, goes to metal, goes back to soft. It's just a great wraparound of everything that we've heard into one song to end it. And she gave a great statement when talking about this song, to where, being uncertain about where you are in the life, the world itself, not knowing all the answers, it's okay not to know. And, realizing that and understanding that, it can bring peace to you. And I definitely agree with that notion. Because, throughout the song, as she's going through it all, about moving forward, leaving evil behind. And it's okay if the map may be hazy or unclear, but what matters is that I'm finding resolution. It's a great song to end the album. Alright, there you go. Poppy's album Flux. Let me know what you think. Again, at the end of the day, I think this is a great sounding album, and I found even more appreciation for it when I was doing this video. But you love it? You hate it? Let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and take care.